Welcome. Today I'm just going to open some packs. I've decided I think I've played about 20 limited events with in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, and I've decided that's probably enough, and I'm going to open these 23 packs I've built up. What I'll do is, just to start with, though, we'll just have a quick look at my collection, so we know, just to give you an idea of what we're looking for today. Right. So, uh, yeah, I've completed a few few sets of four for different cards. So Kyodai, Light Pause, March of Otherworldly Light. So you can probably see a few gaps here. So there's quite a few decks that I've noticed that use four Wandering Emperors. We've only got one. You could probably use a couple of Farewells in a deck as well. There's an Invoke Justice deck which uses four copies, I think. So I think yeah. So I'll tell you what. I'll pick one card for each color, and we'll try and remember that's what I'm looking for. So I think Wandering Emperor for white, possibly Lion Slash as a sort of honourable mention, because I do like artifact decks. Then for blue, I think well, honourable mention would be Jin Gitaxias. I don't have any of those, so it'd be nice to have one. But I'd like to get more reality chips. Again, it's another artifact, another interesting artifact. And then for black, I've already got a couple of Blade of the Onis. I'm actually doing quite well in black because I've got Tribute to Hirobi, Tatsunari, and Invoke Despair, and Hidetsugu. So that's quite good. I think actually the card I want is the next one is Soul Transfer, because it's got that artifact and enchantment payoff. So that's one of the main decks I'm playing at the moment. Art enchantments. And then for red, yeah, we've got a few things finished here. And the big thing that's missing is Thundering Raiju. I don't have any of these at all. You see every aggro deck playing these, practically. It would be nice to get one of those, or maybe two. But also, I think I quite like Lizard Blades. I like the concept of double strikes, so that would be the honourable mention, I think. And then on to green. It would be nice to get a full set of Kami of Transience. I play this card quite a lot. And yeah, I like Weaver of Harmony quite a lot. There's lots of interesting combos with this card. So probably that's the one I'd go for, Weaver of Harmony. And then in multicolored and artifacts, we'll do artifacts first. I'd really want to get Surge Hacker Mech. I don't have any copies of that at all. And then as for multicolored, we're doing quite well. We've got a few things completed here. I don't have a Tamio. That would be nice to get a Tamio. It's actually quite tricky. I think it's because I'm just not too bothered about any of these cards particularly. But maybe getting four copies of the Kami War would be quite fun. That's quite an interesting deck to go for, the 5-color deck. Quite challenging, but quite a powerful and fun card. So anyway, that's what I'm looking for. That's just to give you an idea. So I think we'll just do one set today. I'll just do it booster by booster, so it's maybe a bit more dramatic. There we go. Right. Very good hit. Biting Palm Ninja, fantastic card. So I think that's my third copy. I use that in one of my decks. Yeah, I have a white-black deck that isn't based around artifacts and enchantments, so Alright, that's a third Boseiju. Would you play 3 Boseijus in one deck? Not really. Probably not. But it's nice anyway. Oh, the Dawn Sky. Right. That's number 3, I think. I don't know if you would play 3 of them, but you might. I suppose you might do. It's yeah, because it's a legendary. You might not want to play 3 of them. Got quite a good death trigger. There we go, Surge Hacker Mech. So that's my first one. I can now make my vehicles deck. Ogre Head Helm. Quite an interesting card. I think I've tried playing this a few times. But I think when I sort of started playing again in March this year, one of my first decks I had a couple of Ogre Head Helms in there. But I've not gone back to it since. But yeah, definitely interesting for a red artifact aggro deck that sort of empties its hand really quickly, so you can then use its ability. And you notice, I didn't notice it immediately, but it's right there on the card. But you can sacrifice the creature it's attached to get the effect. So you can potentially keep reusing this effect to discard your hand and draw 3 cards. Which is definitely interesting. It only triggers when you deal combat damage to a player. But anyway, yeah, I think that's my third one of those, Ogre Head Helm. Oh, there we go, Jin Gitaxias. So he's finally, don't know if it's Jin Gitaxias or Jin Gitaxias, but that's my first one. To be honest, yeah, you probably only want one in your deck for most of the time. You might be playing that Prismatic Bridge deck, of course. You might want 4 copies for that one. But yeah, good hit. There's a rare wild card. That's always nice. Lizard Blades. Good. Very happy to see this. So that's my my second one. Second Weaver of Harmony, fantastic. That goes straight into at least a couple of decks that I've got, so that's a very good hit indeed. Takanuma, that'll be my second one. I don't know if you play 2 of these. Maybe if you have a dedicated self-mill deck, you might play a couple of these. So yeah, I think that's... and I have played self-mill decks in the past, so that's a future plan, I think. Mythic Rare Wildcard, I mean that's the best thing possible, I suppose, you can hit. Can't complain about that. Yeah, we have a healthy number. I do really try to avoid spending wildcards. It's sort of I take a lot of convincing before I spend any wildcards. Ah, great. So that's my first Thundering Raiju. So we've almost hit all the cards we had that we didn't own at all. I think we're still looking for a Tameo. Oh, that's nice. A second reality chip. Very happy to see that. A second soul transfer. Great. Really good hit. Mythic Rare Wildcard. Yep, can't complain about that. Another Thundering Raiju. That red aggro deck is starting to come together. I might make a... I like the idea of the red-green modify deck, so that's a pretty important part of that one. Teachings of the Kirin. So this is my third copy. I've recently started playing this card. It's another self-mill card as well. You probably want 4 of these for your self-mill deck, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty good hit. And it's another card. It makes 2 creatures for 2, and it only costs 2 mana, which is pretty good. I think somebody was one of the other channels I was watching. They're pointing out it's pretty good against Invoke Despair. It's only 2 mana, and it puts an enchantment and a small creature on the board to kind of soak up an Invoke Despair. Rare wildcard. That's pretty good. March of Wretched Sorrow. Okay, that's my second one of these. I've not used this card. It seems quite good. X damage to creature or planeswalker, and you gain X life. So it's got the advantage it hits planeswalkers, so that the white March doesn't hit planeswalkers, but the white March exiles things. And also hits, I think, artifacts and enchantments. But yeah, this can be quite a handy source of life gain against aggro decks. That's still Kirin. Okay, this is my third one. And probably like everyone else who's seen this card, I want to find the ultimate creature to equip this to that will stop me from losing the game. Although this kind of, I don't like. Whilst I kind of, it'd be fun to. I'm in 2 minds about it. It'd be fun to make that deck, but I'd hate to play against it and be in an unwinnable situation and have to concede the game. I'm not a big fan of conceding games, but yeah, you have to do it sometimes. It's just, I'd rather this kind of effect just didn't exist in the game. I think it's a little bit silly. I think just have an alternative win con. Don't have this can't lose win con. I think it's a bit silly. That's why I think they had to ban that other card because of that situation. Not because it was overpowered, but because it was just kind of degrading the quality of the game. Now, Mukatai's Soul Ripper. I think this is my 4th one, and this is probably a card I'm not going to play. I mean, I played it in draft. I suppose there's an argument you could feed it with treasure tokens and things like that to make it bigger, but I'm not that impressed with this card, to be honest. Maybe it goes in the black-red sacrifice deck. And it could eat some blood tokens, some treasures, some constructs, and things like that. But I can't see it being too effective. It's just vehicles are just. I think vehicles have to be pretty good to be worth playing. And this is kind of potentially eating up potential pilots for the vehicles. It doesn't really play nice. The blue-white vehicle that makes pilots when it attacks, yes, that's what you want a vehicle to do. You want it to make more of the resource that you need to actually use the card. This card needs a lot of support for it to really work and pay off. So It's a bit iffy. Invoke the Ancients, yeah. Good value. You spend 5 mana and you get 8, 10 worth of stats. You can compare it with the, what was that? The dinosaur that was 5 green. That gives you a 10/10. But having 2 different creatures with like a choice of different abilities is quite handy. So I'd say Reach is maybe the best thing here. So you can actually stop flyers. And yeah, Trample can obviously break through, so seems like a good card. Not used it yet, actually. Okay, another Takanuma. So I think that takes me up to 3 or possibly 4. But yeah, you could play multiple copies if you're going for a full-on self-mill deck, I suppose. And the last booster. Oh, okay, Hinata. So that would be my 4th copy of Hinata. So I think I will just go back to the collection. Just confirm how I've done there. I think it might just be Tamiyo that I missed out on. I'm pretty happy with how we did there. No, we didn't find any more Wandering Emperors or Farewells or Lion Sashes, but that's okay. We did get a Reality Chip and a Jingit Axis. Completed our set of Mukotai Soul Rippers. I'll have to play all 4 of them in a deck now, I suppose. 3rd Biting Palm Ninja was pretty cool. Second Lizard Blades and 2 Thundering Raijus was pretty nice. Got a second Weaver, which is definitely going to get used. Second Invoke the Ancients. I think I might just make a mono green Stompy deck with that as the top end. And we've got a full set of Hinatas. We might have just sort of missed out on the best Hinata deck. That's standard playable. I think there were a couple of cards from Strixhaven that were really good with Hinata, that sort of target lots of things, so they get a massive discount. It's good with the Blue March, I think, which can target X things. So we'll just have to keep an eye out for spells which target X things. Yeah, and we got a Search Hacker mech, so that's pretty nice. Yeah, so it looks like it's just Tamiyo I'm missing. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, so pretty good going. Which deck am I going to make first? Maybe I'll make... I'll use all 3 Takanumas and make a self-mill deck. That might be quite cool. Anyway, I think that's the video. So thanks for watching.